What is up, guys? It is the Muddy Puddle Squad here. Welcome back to a brand new video, and today I'm going to be talking about the rare and almost elusive TurboGrafx-16. So let's get right into the video. But before I start talking about the TurboGrafx-16, let me just remind you guys, do not forget to click that big red subscribe button if you haven't already, so you never miss out on my frequently posted content. Anyway, if you guys are not familiar with the TurboGrafx-16, the TurboGrafx-16 was a cartridge-based video game console that came out, I believe it was 1987, but it was not released in the United States until 1989. And it is a 4th-gen console, so it still used cartridges. And a lot of people have been asking, you know, what consoles I want to get in the future. Will I ever get any more consoles? And I think, you know, this is a console that I hardly ever talk about on my channel. And most, you know, my honest thoughts, most of the library, unfortunately, never made it to the United States. So it has a very small library, so there's not that many decent games to choose from. But I have actually found a few decent games. I think Night Creatures, just Night Creatures. I'm getting confused with the PS1 title. No, this one is a totally different game called Night Creatures for the for the TurboGrafx-16. Really getting confused there. But that is a decent great game. Silent Debuggers seem like a pretty decent game as well. But in my opinion, I think the best game that was probably released on the TurboGrafx-16 was Bonk's Adventure. So Bonk's Adventure is like a 2D style, kind of like Super Mario World type of game. Where you play as this little caveman and you have to eat these pieces of meat in order to, like, get superpowers. And then you have to, you know, as like most 2D platforming games, you have to fight the big boss at the end. But it's a very unique story. Keep in mind, though, I have never actually played it. I've never owned a TurboGrafx-16. I've never played on TurboGrafx-16, so I can't say I've played Bonk's Adventure. But to me, it looks like a pretty cool game that, you know, I would definitely like to play. It's definitely my style. So will I ever own a TurboGrafx-16? Maybe. I mean, they are pretty expensive. They're like $225, $250 on eBay. And I don't have that kind of money right now. Maybe someday when I get a job, I'll be able to afford it. But right now, I don't have the funds to be able to buy a TurboGrafx-16 console. But I will not rule it out in the future. And the first game I will probably go for is easily Bonk's Adventure, which is, again, very expensive, like another $90. But anyway, thanks guys for checking out this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Those are my thoughts on the TurboGrafx-16. And I will add one last thing. Although I think the Super Nintendo was probably better, and the Sega Genesis was probably better, I will say that the TurboGrafx-16 was probably pretty good for its time. Better than other consoles around that, most of the other consoles that came out around that time. Anyway, there are my thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next video.